and I don't need guys from New Haven telling me how to say pizza. Now, Stewart's, Connecticut is the pizza capital of the world.
Please wait for the microphone before asking a question.
Now we got it squared away.
All right, well, I'll just ask about this. Did you expect so much backlash that you wanted to come in here with a pizza?
Nah, that's just the world, you know. Hey, we have high standards here, you know, and when you have high standards, you have to get the best. Well, you could ask me about how important it was to win because we need to keep up with Shea and Vanderbilt.
You started each of the first three quarters pretty quickly, but the third quarter, you kept your foot on the gas and really put them away there. What was the difference after the half compared to your first two quarters?
I thought the first two quarters were more of us. I thought defensively it was good. I mean, the second quarter, I thought we let up a little bit defensively, and they did a good job of getting to their spots and getting the shots they wanted. But I thought the first two quarters, we spent a lot of time, too much time, I think, trying to get the perfect shot, trying to get, you know, everything exactly right, and that's not who we are, you know. I mean, I thought we weren't as aggressive as we can be. We weren't in the attacking mode like we have been, like we can be. So if you know, in a nutshell, the third quarter was KK, Ash, and AZ, you know, defensively just changing the game and getting us into, you know, some transition baskets, and then every miss by them turned into a transition bucket by us. And then we started executing whatever we ran. We started getting some good stuff out of it. I think in the first half, maybe we were just trying too hard to be perfect, to win the game perfectly instead of just playing.
You guys are throwing a lot of different looks at Hannah kind of throughout. Just what did you feel like made the game plan so successful against her?
KK, for the most part, I thought, you know, I thought this is the best game that she's played since she's been at Connecticut. Because, you know, it's a mentality to play really well against a really good player. Yeah, you've got to have some strategy and all that, but I think it's a mentality. You know, she's one of the top guards in America, and so you got to go out there with a certain mindset, and then the whole team has to have that mindset. You know, obviously, you know, I talked to Neil about this before the game. You know, they're in a tough spot. You know, they lost a lot of really good offensive players, and they're limited bench wise. It's kind of where, you know, we've been there. So there's an awful lot put on Hannah's shoulders, more so than the previous 2 years that she's been there. So we tried to take advantage of that and make sure that, you know, she had to do a lot more than just what she normally does for them. And I think defensively, when she's on defense, she wasn't able to cause as much havoc as she normally does.
This is your guys' largest win margin in the rivalry, 5 in double figures. Just what was it about your second half offense that really got the ball rolling?
I think when the shots start dropping from various places on the floor, it makes it real tough for the defense to have a whatever their plan is to limit how many buckets we get. If it's like a leak, the old Dutch boy, like it's coming from here and from here and from here. You struggle to get to all those spots, and if we're not making them, then it's fine. But if we are making them, then it's very difficult. So once that happened, now all of a sudden, everything started to spread out for them, and then all the things inside started to open themselves up. A lot of times you score inside, and then they collapse, and you make a bunch of threes. We make a bunch of threes or make a bunch of jump shots, and then it opens up everything inside. So I think that was the big difference.
Coach Sarah Williams came out stronger in the second half with a different level of aggressiveness, and played till the end. That last minute, picked up a tech, was clearly just playing aggressively. What did you say to her at halftime, and what did you think of her overall performance tonight?
I thought there was a difference. Her 8 rebounds, I think, were the kind of rebounds you need to get in a game like this. She needs to be more aggressive. She needs to be a physical presence in there. She does have to have that little bit of an attitude that got her that technical. I just told her, don't you dare ever throw a punch, But I want to see her play like that. I think she needs to play like that. And I don't know that she's ever been in a game. Like her and Blanca, I don't think I've ever been in a game like this. So for them, it was... And you can see Blanca, when Blanca's good, she's really, really good. And she made some terrific plays today. But playing in this game for the first time at this level, you have to have, and as I said earlier, you have to have a certain mindset to be able to play in this game. And games of this magnitude. And this is what's going to happen, in March. And the other guys are okay because they've been in that situation. So for Blanca and Sarah, this was really good for them.
Hey, Geno. I know you can talk about Sarah Strong like 100 times a week, but for her to get her 1,000th point tonight as a sophomore, just the things that she's accomplishing, she's in the same category as like Maya and Paige, only the 3rd fastest player to 1,000. Like, is it? I know you said the other day you still keep expecting her to get better and better, but is what she's accomplishing like kind of amazing?
It is, because one, she doesn't need a lot of shots. I would love to see if anybody has scored 1,000 points by taking less shots than she's taken. She's so efficient. I'm not surprised that she's gotten to 1,000 this quickly because it's consistent every night. She doesn't go 2 or 3 games where it comes up empty with 3 or 4 points, 5 points, 6 points. So her consistency is what stands out. Kind of like Paige and Maya, same thing. And her efficiency, that those 1,000 points come within the context of what we're trying to do as a team, not let's feed her the ball to get her 1,000. So now she's got a long way to go.
Coach, before halftime, you were pretty frustrated on the sideline after a bad pass before the buzzer. What did you want to see, and what was going through your mind?
That last possession of the first half, I thought we had plenty of time. And again, as I said, we were trying to get too cute with it, all right? We got the ball exactly where we wanted to get it, and we threw it, and we had the shot that we could all live with, and we tried to get a better one. And then we end up with nothing. So, yeah, that's kind of what we talked about at halftime is we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be exact. We just got to, take advantage of the opportunities that we get and be aggressive with them.
Hi, Coach. Can you just talk a little bit about AZ? She seemed pretty confident tonight, even when her 3-shot wasn't falling. Where you think she is right now in the season, where you think she might still need to go with her confidence and leadership?
Yeah, From AZ's point of view, I mean, you have to make sure that you stay. I keep using the word. You stay aggressive. You stay constantly searching for more shots, more opportunities, and to her credit, she didn't shoot the ball great from the perimeter, but she stayed in that aggressive mode, and she did play a really solid defensive game. That's the nature of shooters. You just don't know why they all go in, and you think, yeah, because I'm a great shooter. Then when they don't go in, you're like, oh, I'm not a bad shooter. So you just have to stay with it. And I like that she got into the lane and found other ways to score besides just, relying on her three ball. And I thought defensively, she impacted the game. And that's what really good players do. They don't just, well, I'm not shooting the ball well tonight, so my impact is going to be minimal. I think that was the kind of game you want to have. It's easy to look back on a game and go, oh, that kid played great. She shot 10 for 12 from the three-point line. Wow, isn't she fantastic? I think the sign is, can you impact the game when it's not your best day?
Geno, you closed your comments on Sarah saying she's got a long way to go. What would you like to see next from her and her growth as a player, whether it be the rest of the season or throughout her career? What's the next step for her?
I don't know. I don't know that I could sit here and map it out for you, because whatever I say, she's already doing it, right? So that would mean if she left at the end of this year, you go, wow, that kid had a great career at UConn. But to the best of my knowledge, she's not going anywhere. So if 2 more years of getting better, I'm anxious to see where it goes. But I know it's not going to stay the same, And believe me, if you were to come tomorrow and watch film, you would go, yeah, there's some work to be done.
You talked about players in this game for the first time. This is also Kaylee's first time being part of this rivalry. What did she give you off the bench?
Again, Heckle's a odd duck, Like, she goes in and she wants to, feel everything out. And then the second time that her rotation comes up, she goes out and just is a completely different player, So she's another kind of cautious one that has to see how everything's playing out. And when she got out there in the second time, especially the second half, we're very fortunate to be able to. We got KK out there causing problems, and then we give her a breather, and then we put Kaylee in there, and then when the two of them are in there together, it's fun to watch. And Kaylee was never really known as a 3-point shooter, and I think she's worked really, really hard at it. She made 2 today? Yeah. And so that's I think she made a couple recently too. Yeah, so when those things are happening for her, that's a great sign for us, because if you're the other team and you say, okay, well, we got to guard this guy, but then when we bring in another one that puts that kind of shot pressure on you, it's tough for the other team, really. And again, she knows nothing about how to win these games, so it was great for her to be in that game.
Yeah, we know that Sarah is very economical with her words, and on the court, she doesn't really show a lot of emotion, right? What is it? What's the buttons that pushes her, that brings out the most competitive juice in her? Does the presence of someone like Hidalgo, for instance, does that bring out the "I'll show you" or that kind of thing in her? Does she have that button in her?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple buttons that work great for her. One is playing against a really good team. That's one of them. Against a really good player is another one. Accusing her of being lackadaisical because she makes it look so easy, even though she's not. Just accuse her of it, and that gets her kind of bringing up something that it's a simple thing, but she takes great pride in thinking that everything I do has a purpose to it. There's a reason why I did it. And when you question that, it really pisses her off. So I love that. You know? That was a foul. No, it wasn't. Well, yeah, it was. Or, you let the guy go by you just so you could steal it from behind. That's dumb. No, it wasn't. That was a bad pass. No, it wasn't. Anything that I can find that makes me, wait till tomorrow when we show her getting a shot blocked by Hidalgo. That was gold. That was like Steven Spielberg gold right there for the film tomorrow. I just think there's a perfectionism that she has, that she wants, like her game obviously speaks for itself, but she wants it to be, I have a complete game. And I don't like to be called out on something that, for other people, that would be like a really, really good play. But for her, she hates to be put in that situation. And yeah.
So what did you do coming into this game? What did you say to her to get her going?
This one, I think for games like this, I think she knew because she played very, very poorly last year at Notre Dame. Like the whole team did, really. But she was really upset with herself last year playing at that game, and I just try to find little. Jamel's really good with her. Like if you ask Sarah, she said she heard Jamel yelling at her one time, and Jamel wasn't even in the gym. So she thinks she has Jamel Elliott PTSD or something like that. So there's things that we get on her about that they stay with her, which I think is fantastic.
Follow up on that. There was a play where KK got knocked down about midcourt. They go down trying to score, and Sarah, looked like you are not scoring here after you knocked my teammate on the ground like that. Just run me through the competitive fire that doesn't always show up, but it showed up in that 5-second spurt.
It does. And I've seen it. I've seen it when she was in high school. I've seen it with USA Basketball. Even when she's playing with older players, there's something about her that she wants to. She has a very high. And when you say this, it sounds bad, but she has a very high opinion of herself. Like she thinks highly of herself, and wants to do well, and doesn't want to let anybody down, and wants to be respected, and wants to be, acknowledged as a great player. So I think all the things that she does really are all about that.
Coach, I do want to follow up on Shea. Obviously, legend here as a coach and player, top 5 in the country, only other undefeated team. Can you just speak to what has made her such a successful head coach and how proud you are of, her success?
Yeah, I was watching the game today, and Chris Daly, come on, we gotta go. I'm like, there's like 14 seconds left. Can we just stay and watch the rest of the game? If you only knew. I enjoy watching them play. She's like not quite Coach Sig. She's not quite Kurt Signetti yet. But to go down there and do what she's done in such a short period of time, I think is really cool. And the way they play, and they showed the schedule that they have coming up, and it's like a murderer's row, right? So they've got a great staff. She's got her husband on the staff, Tom, and she's got Kylie McLaren from our place on the staff, and You know, Kevin DeMille from our staff is down there. So I'm really happy for all of them, and it's not easy to do what she's done, and she's so detail oriented. She's so competitive in so many ways. She's a great teacher. So many guards that have come through here that were impacted by Shay. Yeah, I'm thrilled for her, and I'm anxious. You know, I'm excited to see who they play next.
Thank you.
I'm dead